Well, Reggie, so it's come at last. He's had to wait longer to become king than any man in history.
Nearly 60 years.
You hear them? They're all wondering if he's up to it.
A great deal depends on what happens this afternoon.
They say it's too soon.
Too soon?
To hold his first council, with Queen Victoria dead, barely 24 hours.
Nonsense. He must take the oath to rule according to the law, and make sure the business of the country goes on without interruption.
Look at Salisbury. Balfour and Lansdowne are at him already.
He doesn't look too happy.
Now is the time to insist on constitutional reform. He cannot rule in the same way as his mother.
Even as Prince of Wales, he was lightweight Prime Minister, undependable.
Let him wear his fancy dress uniforms and entertain visitors. He's good at that. But he must not interfere in the government.
We needn't worry. All he wants is the position and none of the responsibility.
He certainly wasn't given much training for it.
Well, now he's too old to learn.
He must know all the betting's against him. He won't even try.
Well, we shall soon see.
Your Royal Highnesses, my lords, gentlemen, this is the most painful occasion on which I shall ever be called upon to address you. My first and melancholy duty is to announce to you the death of my beloved mother, the Queen, and I know how deeply you, the nation, and I think I may say the whole world, sympathize with me in the great loss that we have all sustained. My constant endeavor will be to walk in her footsteps. I was christened Albert Edward in the expectation that, as Albert Edward, I would come to the throne. However, I am resolved to be known by the name of Edward, which has been borne by 6 of my ancestors. In doing so, I do not undervalue the name of Albert, which I inherit from my great and wise father, but by universal consent, he is known as Albert the Good, and I desire that his name should stand alone. I trust to Parliament and the nation to support me in the arduous duties which now devolve upon me by inheritance, and to which I am determined to devote my entire strength throughout what remains of my life.
We therefore do now with one voice and consent of tongue and heart publish and proclaim that the high and mighty Prince Albert Edward is now, by the death of our late sovereign of happy memory, become our only lawful and rightful liege lord, Edward VII. By the grace of God, King of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India. God save the King.
I, Robert Arthur Gascoigne Cecil, Marquis of Salisbury, Prime Minister and Lord Privy Seal, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Edward VII and his heirs and successors according to law. So help me God.
I, Arthur James Balfour, First Lord of the Treasury, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance.
I I thought Balfour's face would crack.
And Salisbury's knees.
Still, it didn't seem to go too badly.
May I compliment you on your speech, sir? It was most unexpected, but most appropriate and moving.
Oh, did you think so, Charlie?
Nothing that could have been written for you, sir, would have sounded so sincere.
Thank you, Francis. Thank you both. No, I felt something was called for. Had to break the ice, do you see? Nobody seemed to know what to do.
So long since the last accession, nobody's quite sure of the procedures.
Yeah, we'll just have to play it by ear for a bit. What's going on out there, Fritz?
The ambassadors are waiting, sir, with the Prime Minister and Mr. Balfour.
Salisbury drags his nephew round with him like an old tugboat towing a battle cruiser, what? Well, I suppose we'd better have them in. Where the deuce is the Queen?
The Queen?
Alex.
I beg your pardon.
Yes, takes a bit of getting used to, doesn't it? But now she is Queen, I had hoped she'd be a little more punctual. She can't keep the whole diplomatic world waiting.
I fancy Lord Isha is showing her the private apartments, sir.
This is the private royal study.
Yes. It's very gloomy, isn't it?
Perhaps a little, ma'am.
And what's through there?
And the Queen's private apartments.
I'm sorry, Lord Isha.
The late Queen's private apartments. She always used these rooms on the few occasions she stayed at Buckingham Palace. Would you care to inspect them, ma'am?
Well, who shall we see first?
If I might suggest, the German ambassador. There is agitation in Germany that the Emperor is still here.
My nephew is staying on here as a member of the family. He does not wish to leave this country until after his grandmother's funeral.
Very understandable, sir.
The gesture has made the Kaiser very popular here.
It might give us a real chance at last of reaching an understanding with Germany.
That will be for discussion between his ministers and yours, sir.
Where the devil is Alex?
The dressing room, ma'am.
I thought it would be bigger.
Have you never been here before, ma'am?
No.
The Prince Consort's bedroom is through there. Of course, it has not been used for many years. The Queen's bedroom is here. Would you like to see it?
Will it be all right?
Of course, ma'am. They're yours now.
Oh.
I merely thought the King is waiting to receive deputations.
Yes, I know.
It cannot begin until you are there. He may become impatient.
Let him wait. It will do him good.
Oh, this is intolerable. Well, let's do something. We'll have Sovereign in.
Portuguese ambassador?
Yes, he's a friend of mine, and at least the others will know that something's happening. Please, Ponsonby. I cannot bear being thought impolite.
Perhaps I could send a messenger to look for her.
No.
The Marquis de Soveral.
Louis.
Your Majesty, may I present the deepest condolences of my sovereign King Carlos of Portugal in your irreparable loss, and also his heartfelt felicitations on your accession, to which I have the honor to add my own.
I thank you. Alex, where on earth have you been?
Oh, dear. Have I kept you all waiting?
Only for 50 minutes.
Well, then it's not too bad, is it? Now, what do I have to do?
If your Majesty would take the consort's throne.
Not your Majesty yet, Francis. I will not be called that, nor will I let anyone kiss my hand until our gracious lady, the late Queen, is buried.
Look, there's Grandpa, and Papa, and Cousin Willie.
Yes, I am there, in front of King Carlos.
Yes.
There.
And Great Uncle William, please. Look, there's the Austrian Archduke.
And the Russian Grand Duke, yes, and the Crown Prince of Denmark, Crown Prince of Sweden, Romania, and, what's the little one?
Siam.
Yes, Siam.
Again, let's see it again.
No, David, that's the third show.
We'll look at it again tomorrow. It's time you were in bed.
I'll help you with them, May. Oh, there's no need. Nanny can manage. Oh, no doubt, but so can I. Come along.
Night, boys.
Will you come and see us, Grandpa?
Yes, in a little while. Off you pop.
They admire you so much. I know just how they feel.
Oh, thank you, Willie.
When I was a little boy, I wanted nothing so much as to be just like my Uncle Bertie.
Thank you. Yes, David's a chip off the old block. I'm sorry, cigar. Do you remember what he said, George, when we told him that his great-grandmama died and gone to heaven?
Oh, yes, he said, oh, she won't like that at all. Why did he say that?
Well, that's what we asked him. And he said, well, you see, Grandpa, she'll have to walk behind the angels.
Ah, very astute.
Yes, wasn't it?
The greatest assembly of crowned heads ever seen honored the Queen's passing.
Ah, yes, indeed. Ponsonby here arranged most of it. You know Fritz, don't you?
Of course.
He was Mamma's assistant private secretary. I'd like him to stay on with me if he chooses.
I should be delighted, sir.
Thank you, Fritz.
Uncle Bertie, let us sit down. I'm so proud to have been here with you at this time. This may not be the moment, but I have wanted to speak to you.
Yes?
You and I are heads of the strongest nations in the world. We should work together to create a lasting alliance between our two countries, Britain and Germany.
Reggie, are you all right with that thing?
Yes, thank you, sir.
I'm so sorry, you were saying.
I had not realized until these last weeks how similar in so many ways we are. It is not only the natural ties of affection. We both have a sincere desire for peace and order. With our two empires united in friendship, together we could police the world. The practical advantages for both our countries would be enormous.
Go on, Lord Isham.
The Kaiser believes that the chief danger to all of us is the growing ambition of Russia.
Russia is virtually bankrupt, and Tsar Nicholas is incompetent.
But financiers in the United States will lend him money to expand into Asia.
My dear Isha, if you
And
see...
how will that affect us?
The Kaiser promises to protect our interests in India and the Middle East if we protect his in Africa and South America.
Does the king really believe all this?
He believes the German emperor is sincere in his desire for an alliance with his country.
Then why was the German ambassador not instructed to discuss it with the British government?
Kaiser Wilhelm wanted the king's views first.
Does he think the King of England is like him and can just tell his government what to do?
Surely such an offer is to be considered, Lord Lansdowne, whichever channel it comes
We
through.
have never found an acceptable basis for an Anglo-German alliance before.
The king is convinced of its sincerity. He feels it essential that we join in closer ties with Europe. If we do not, we shall be squeezed out between the United States and Russia before the middle of the century.
He's giving us the benefit of his political views now, is he?
No, don't underestimate him, Arthur. He's always been interested in foreign affairs.
Affairs, certainly. Foreign on occasion.
That is no way to speak of your sovereign, sir.
I'm prepared to listen to him when he tells me what are the right clothes to wear or who sits next to whom at dinner. At that, he is expert.
So I'm to tell him that you will not consider any of his recommendations.
I trust you will not tell him any of this, Lord Isha.
He's learning fast and may surprise you yet. Good morning, gentlemen.
It's so long since I've been here at Windsor.
Oh, look, Bertie, that photograph. I took it of you myself at Cowes. And that one of Mamma at Balmoral.
Oh, yes.
Strange. Seems like something out of another age already.
Don't be silly, Toria. Of course it is. We're in the 20th century now, you know.
Yes, Mother dear.
Tastes have changed, you know.
Yes, Mother dear.
Well, what do you think of it all?
I had never imagined there was so much.
Oh, look. There's a picture of great-grandma.
Some of the furniture's priceless. I've never really looked at it before.
Well, it's all ours now, my dear.
I suppose it is. What on earth can we do with it?
Let's have a look in the study.
I don't like it, Bertie. It doesn't feel right to come in here.
No, I know.
It's as if we're being watched. What's that?
It's a cast of my hand. when I was a baby.
And she had it on her desk all this time? Oh, Bertie. Did she never change anything?
It was where she first worked with my father. She tried to make time to stand still.
What's that?
Queen's Highland servant.
John Brown?
Yes. The great John.
Bertie!
Clumsy of me. Still, we'll get a better idea of what redecoration's needed when we get some of this stuff cleared away.
Redecoration?
Yes.
We're not going to live here. I thought in the State Apartments occasionally, but not here.
Alex?
No. No, Bertie. For years as the Princess of Wales, I was never allowed to do as I pleased. Now everyone keeps reminding me I am Queen, and I shall make my own decisions.
Well, some decisions are forced on us.
I will not sit at her table and live in her rooms.
We must live here and at Buckingham Palace.
Must. All my life it has been must. When am I to be allowed to choose for myself? No, 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 no.
Be reasonable. I told you about Osborne. We needn't live there, but Buckingham Palace and Windsor are a different matter.
This is my home, Marlborough House. Most of our children were born here. All of my memories are here.
Marlborough House will be needed for Georgie and May.
Why should they have it?
What is their right as Prince and Princess of Wales?
Toria, what do you say?
I'm afraid I agree with Papa.
Very well, I concede Windsor. And Georgie shall live here.
Thank you, my dear.
But you will not force me to accept Buckingham Palace.
You agree?
Only to Windsor. The palace is totally out of the question.
It is the principal royal residence.
It is also ugly and impractical.
Well, then, where are we to live in London?
Anywhere but there. We will discuss it tonight at dinner with the family.
I'm sorry, sir, but had you forgotten that you're dining tonight with members of the cabinet?
Tonight?
At your club, sir.
Why didn't you remind me of this before, Ponsonby? I apologize, my dear. I wouldn't have had this happen for the world.
It's quite all right. I fully understand.
Are you tired?
No, my dear. Just thinking. An unusual occupation for me, I admit. It's only that I've been shut out for so long, and now here I am when everything should be different, still sitting behind a closed door, listening to the music of a ballet that I can't see.
That's only to the end of official mourning.
Yes. Yes, I was being, looking inward, what's the word? Introspective. But of course you knew that.
Would it help to tell me? I don't want to pry.
No, you never do. Well, it's a lot of things, Alice. This war with the Boers. I want to do something positive, but the government takes no notice of my opinions. All I can do is to make sure that the medical supplies are stepped up.
Well, that is a great deal.
Well, maybe, but it's not enough. And then there's the Queen. I cannot persuade her that the palace must be our home in London.
What is her objection?
Well, she finds it depressing. I can understand her saying that about Osborne. It's a mausoleum. I'm giving it to the Navy as a hospital. But the palace must be the center of the new court, you see. Of course, the private rooms are not very convenient, and the whole place would have to be done up.
If you were to ask her advice about the decorations, perhaps even to choose everything herself, what woman could resist redesigning an entire palace?
Now, why didn't I think of that?
He has perfect taste. You couldn't find anybody better.
Some more champagne, sir?
No, thank you, Charlie.
Mrs. Keppel?
I envy Louis. He'd still be telling a story in front of the firing squad.
Is there something else?
Well, nothing you can help with, my dear. My sister, Vicky.
Empress Frederick. Well, I realize that relations with Germany are somewhat strained, but why didn't she come to London for the funeral?
She couldn't. She's dying herself.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Nigel.
Yes, she has cancer of the spine. I'm going over to Friedrichshof as soon as I can get away.
Well, Uncle Bertie, I have looked forward to welcoming you to Germany. But not for such a distressing reason.
No.
And unfortunately, I do not see that your English doctor will be of much help. So, you're up, Mama. Well, here he is.
Bertie.
Splendid, Vicky. We thought to find you in bed.
I've been longing to see you.
Now, don't keep him too long, Mama. I promised him a boar hunt this afternoon. Till later.
Bertie.
Well, how are you?
The children, are they well?
Yes, all thriving.
And Alex?
Never better. She enjoys being queen.
I was heartbroken I could not be with you.
Yes, we missed you. But Willie behaved admirably. He won all hearts. I hadn't realized how devoted he was to Mama. He supported us all in her last hours.
And you are king at last.
In name.
When will you be crowned?
Well, not until after this war is over in South Africa. It wouldn't be right to hold a coronation to ask my people to rejoice while the country's not at peace.
I had so hoped to be there.
But you will be. You will. Your doctors are confident, and I brought Laking with me.
Oh, they won't let me see him.
Not see him?
You don't know what it's like here, Bertie. My visitors are turned away. My letters are read.
Sure, the Emperor's mother.
I am English. I have never been accepted. They don't trust me, Willie, nor his advisors.
I'm sure you're exaggerating. Willie's been so much more friendly lately, and I think he means it.
Yes, he does. Today. And perhaps tomorrow, maybe even next week. But one day, he will change. He can't help it. Oh, he was moved by Mamma's funeral and being accepted as part of the family. He has always longed for that.
Yes, I know.
But you see, my dear, you are head of the family now. He has always admired and respected you, but he cannot allow himself to be second to anyone. He is the Kaiser. One day he will have to open a door for you, or not sit until you sit, and all his hatred and envy of England will come back, worse than ever.
I had hoped that this time it might last.
I had to warn you.
Yes, thank you, my dear. I'll be careful. Things never turn out as we think, do they?
Your Majesty.
You are wondering why I asked to see you at this hour. I want you to do me a service.
Of course, ma'am.
It is not without danger. You do not ask questions, that is good. But I must tell you so that you may know its importance.
Yes, ma'am.
For the past 40 years, I have had many letters from England. Most of them from my mother, the late Queen. They were family letters, not diplomatic. I have kept them all. I want you to take charge of them. They are far too important to destroy, but they must be got away from here before I die. They contain many things which would not now be understood which could be used politically against your country.
I see.
In particular, my son must not have them.
Where are they, Mom?
Over there. Behind the curtain.
I did not expect so many, Mom.
That is why I could not smuggle them out. Can you do it?
I could take them out openly with my own luggage. It's risky, but I can think of no other way.
Good. Good.
What are these doing here? Ponsonby, what are these boxes doing here? What is in these boxes?
Sir.
You English. You have so much luggage. You cannot go anywhere without all your clothes and comforts. See that they're not left behind. Come, Uncle Bertie.
It's quite glad to get there. Then we went on to Copenhagen to stay with Alex's father. The old boy's amazing, you know, nearly 80.
Did you enjoy your visit, sir?
Well, the usual, you know.
The Amalienburg must be the dullest palace in Europe, sir.
How dare you say that? Oh, I forgot, Francis, you've never been to Bernstorff.
Oh, Bertie, I wish you'd speak up. I can hear what Louis says perfectly, but you always mumble.
Sorry, my dear. Sorry.
There's no need to shout. Now, everyone who wants to play bridge, come along. Louis shall be my partner. Then I can hear what he calls. Come along, Bertie.
Oh, you'll have to excuse me, my dear. Francis and I have work to do.
Nonsense. You come and sit here, Mrs. Keppel. You started before breakfast. Now come and behave like a human being.
Very well.
Bertie, you deal.
Yes, you wish, my dear.
Why do you want to work so hard anyway?
Well, there's a lot to catch up on, and when morning ends, we'll have to go out in society, show ourselves. There won't be much time.
What are we playing for?
No, whatever you like.
Well, nothing too much. Remember, Parliament hasn't voted my money yet. What do you suggest, partner?
Would the penny points be too much?
As long as the cards don't run against us.
How are the decorations going, ma'am?
Oh, perfectly. Perfectly. We're only staying here until they're complete.
I see the first official ball at the palace is on the day before full morning ends.
Yes, it's a nuisance. Still, it can't be helped.
I wanted to ask you what to wear, ma'am.
Oh, whatever you like.
The ladies are hoping for a directive from you. Are we to come out of black?
I'm trying to concentrate, Mrs. Keppel. You must wear what you think most suitable.
No bid.
1 heart.
3 no trumps.
the devil's your mother? Something of a surprise, Mrs. Keppel. My dear. It's charming, my dear, charming.
It faces north, but that doesn't matter.
I never thought these rooms could be made so pleasant.
Your bedroom, of course, is through there. It's ridiculous we should share a dressing room, but I have some ideas.
Yes, I'm sure you have.
You said I could have a completely free hand. Come.
This is your home. Here we do as you say.
Well?
Splendid, splendid.
Now, this is your room. Now.
I feel at home already.
I thought we'd be troubled by traffic, but you can't hear anything.
Very true. Very true. Everything you've done is perfect.
Why don't you sit down and I'll ring for tea?
I can't, unfortunately. Francis is waiting.
You're not going to work any more today.
Well, it has to be done.
What?
Well, for example, in her last illness, Mamma left thousands of army commissions unsigned. I'm not sending young men to die with a rubber stamp.
Just for a minute.
Oh, very well, very well.
3 months at the most. Sir Kitchener has beaten them.
But they won't surrender.
It is only a question of time.
But in that time, more lives are lost. Can't they see that it's futile to go on? I've had letters from young Churchill and Ponsonby. I think I know these Boers. They hang on with a kind of desperate gallantry. Surely they realize that we'll give them honorable terms. Give me a match.
Negotiations are in hand, sir.
Well, how long will they take? I'm thinking of the coronation, gentlemen. You said 3 months. Can I depend on that?
The terms of peace will be signed by the 1st of June.
Your Majesty could be crowned at the height of the victory celebration, sir.
Yes, and the sooner the better. Thank you, Lord Salisbury.
Your Majesty, I regret I shall not be able to keep you informed personally for very much longer. Increasing ill health forces me to consider resigning in the near future. I had hoped to stay on until the end of the war, to be Prime Minister at your coronation, but I must make way for a younger man.
We've known each other for many years. I shall be very sorry to lose you.
Thank you, sir.
Do you care to recommend a successor?
I would ask Your Majesty to consider Mr. Balfour.
Downright nepotism.
Sir?
No, Lord Salisbury. Your nephew is the ablest member of the Cabinet.
Thank you.
There now, how was that?
It was the most enjoyable force march I've ever enjoyed.
No stamina, that's your trouble, Louis. I know, we'll get the old Skittles set up after lunch.
Please, your gracious majesty, spare us the skittles. I'd otherwise strength even to deal a pack of cards.
Come and sit down.
Thank you, my dear.
Reggie, you know about paintings. Why is he behaving like this?
He's trying to prove that there's nothing wrong with him.
What is wrong?
Well, he's driven himself too hard. And he's ill.
Badly?
He won't tell anyone or let himself be properly examined. Not with the coronation only 2 days away.
Is there nothing we can do?
Tell him to postpone it. He's waited too long already.
Well, what do you think of Windsor?
Most impressive.
Yes, it's good to get away from London for a few days. I can't stand all that entertaining. There'll be enough to do afterwards.
I thought that you had come down here to rest, to show yourself everywhere.
Well, Alex likes it.
Here you had to miss the review at Aldershot.
Yes, I caught a bit of a chill. Reggie, you just come down. How are the preparations going?
Well, the workmen have nearly finished in the Abbey, sir, and they're starting to build the stands along the route.
Good.
The town's filling up. I don't think I've ever seen London so crowded.
Really? And the dinner? Everything's ready?
Yes, and we've been promised 72,000 gallons of lemonade.
Lemonade? What kind of a dinner's this?
The King's coronation dinner for the poor, Louis. Over 500,000 people to be entertained to dinner on the same day, at His Majesty's expense.
And they'll all be drinking lemonade?
No, Louis. No, the breweries are sending a few thousand barrels of beer. They've all had their own invitations. King Edward heartily bids you welcome to his coronation dinner. I made the words up myself. It's a day on which I don't want anyone to go without.
I think perhaps I should leave you.
No, that's perfectly all right.
No, if you'll excuse me, I think perhaps I should take a little rest before that.
I believe that's a good idea, Mrs. Keppel.
Yes, I can do it. 40 winks. 50.
Well, I hope I haven't walked you all off your feet.
You're not all leaving. We thought we might rest before lunch, Ma. Ah, good. I'll make sure you're cold. Bertie, you really must not try to do so much. You put on a lot of weight and you're smoking far too heavily. Bertie? Oh, my darling. I'll send for a doctor.
No.
Your own doctor, Laking.
No, it'll pass.
What is it? Why won't you tell me?
Nothing. There's nothing to be done. Laking told me it can wait.
We have to go back to London tonight. Will you be able to travel?
Yes, I have to walk. Help me up, will you?
Mama? What is it? What has happened?
Papa is ill. Very ill.
He would not let me cancel the reception for tonight, but I have forbidden him to go.
Of course he mustn't.
He's very angry with me. I sent for Sir Francis Laking. He will not let himself be examined.
I'm very sorry, sir, but I really must insist.
And not you as well, George.
I came to hear what Sir Francis has to say.
I have not yet examined His Majesty.
What do you think it is?
I would rather not say until I'm certain.
Well, then, to set all our minds at ease, perhaps you should begin.
Well,
it is what I feared, sir. You are suffering from peritonitis.
What's that?
It is commonly known as appendicitis, an inflammation of a small tube in the intestines.
I'm sorry, Laking. I thought it might be cancer.
Unfortunately, at the stage it has reached, it is just as serious.
What do you mean?
You must have an immediate operation.
Out of the question.
Sir.
No! Do you realize what happens the day after tomorrow?
It is my duty, sir.
Damn your duty! After the coronation, you can bloody well cut me in two if you want to, but not till then.
Sir, I beg you to listen.
How the hell can you even suggest it? Do you know what I've been going through? Leave the room!
Sir, I cannot. I would fail in my duty if
I
I
tell
obeyed
you, Laking, I will be crowned. I shall go to my coronation if I die in the abbey.
That is exactly what will happen. If you are not operated on by tomorrow, it will be too late. Believe me, sir, nothing can be more certain. And I do know what a postponement of the coronation will mean both to you and the country. I have preparations to make. Do I have your permission?
My people will never forgive me.
We shall improvise an operating theatre, ma'am, next to His Majesty's bedroom.
Yes?
Sir Frederick Treves will be the surgeon, and I shall assist.
This operation, is it dangerous? I want the truth.
It has not often been performed, ma'am, and not always with complete success.
And if it is not attempted?
Then His Majesty has no chance whatever.
Coronation postponed! King's life in danger! Coronation postponed! King's life in danger! Coronation postponed! Coronation postponed! Coronation postponed! King's life!
Lean on me.
I apologize to everyone.
There's no need.
For all those people, the coronation dinner, it mustn't be stopped. Whatever happens, they mustn't be disappointed.
Of course not, my dearest.
Are you still decided, Sir Frederick?
Emphatically, sir.
Chloroform, sir.
Why don't you begin?
If I might ask you to leave us, ma'am.
Oh? Yes, of course.
Is it?
He knew it would happen. He always knew it would happen. Secretly, he's always been afraid that he would die before he was crowned.
Don't say that, Mother dear.
It's all over, Mum. And I believe successful.
Yes. George.
I'm here, Father.
Alex.
Morning, Francis. Fritz.
Morning, Charles.
Morning, my lord. How is he today?
Well enough to shout at his nurse.
I spoke to Her Majesty last night. She tells me she's certain he only pretends to be asleep in order not to exhaust himself trying to make her hear.
She's delighted he's lost so much weight.
Majesty spends every minute she can with him. One can hear her laughing all the way down the corridor.
Well, I know I prayed. For the first time in years. I don't think I was the only one.
Well, gentlemen, His Majesty wishes to be crowned on the 9th of August.
That's too soon.
He's made a remarkable recovery and does not wish to wait any longer.
I don't think it'll be possible. There wouldn't be time to get all those foreign princes back.
The king does not care about that. He insists that the coronation only really concerns himself and his people.
It also concerns his government. Already he's seen fit to refuse some of my suggestions for appointments and decorations.
Well, that is his privilege. Now, in the past, he was unsure and reluctant to claim his right to be consulted, but then he was unwell. Now he's fit again. You'll find him a very different man to deal with.
If he was popular before, his illness has made him much more than that. If he chose to form a political party, he would win every seat in the country.
Well, then it's perhaps as well that the Constitution prevents his dabbling in politics.
I have warned you before, Arthur. Do not underestimate him. I have watched him develop. Given time, he will prove a remarkable king.
Well, how do I look?
Magnificent, sir.
Yes, 6 inches off the waist, that helps. Any sign of Alex?
Not yet, sir.
You got your ticket for the Abbey?
Quite safe. It's the day I've been waiting for.
Yes, I hope they'll be able to see, all right.
Oh, don't worry, sir. A special box has been allocated for the ladies.
Mrs. Keppel being looked after, is she?
Yes, sir. She's with Mrs. Harmon, Lady Kilmorey, Miss Sarah Bernhardt, Mrs. Paget. In fact,
What?
Oh, I hardly like to say,
Come
sir.
on, Charlie.
Some of the racing fraternity are calling it the King's Loose Box.
Well, why not? Oh, where is she? This is too much today of all days! My dear Alex, if you don't come at once, you won't be crowned queen. Oh, get on! Good morning, children. Am I not a funny old grandpa?